They always say to follow the signs, but when those signs lead to lost jobs and broken communities, they suddenly become footnotes in the grand story of progress. One of the country's major oil refineries, gone, just like that. Thousands of families now face the terrifying question of how to survive, how to pay the bills, how to keep their children fed, how to stay in their homes. And this time, it isn't the Conservatives at the center of the storm, it's coming from within Labour's own ranks. But here's what they don't want you to know. Just days before the announcement to shut down the refinery, Keir Starmer quietly finalized the purchase of land and property suspiciously close to the site. Coincidence? Or something far more calculated? Whispers from insiders point to a redevelopment scheme connected to his inner circle. Public land. Public jobs. All sold off or wiped out. And while families are left scrambling, Starmer secures his position in a wealthier postcode. At least one Labour MP had the courage to break ranks. In a fiery outburst that sent tremors through Westminster, they condemned the decision to shut down the refinery, warning of job losses, economic collapse in local towns, and the threat to Britain's energy security. But here's the part they didn't say out loud: this wasn't an oversight. It was sabotage, meticulously planned from the top. Starmer's fingerprints are all over it. As working-class families brace for unemployment, he's preparing to settle into his latest luxury residence, conveniently located just far enough from the wreckage he helped orchestrate. And how did the political establishment respond? Outrage, not at the decision that threatens livelihoods, but at the MP who dared to speak the truth. This is Britain in 2025. Where defending jobs is a sin and advocating for energy independence is heresy. And don't fool yourself, this wasn't about one refinery. It's about an ideology. An obsession with net zero, pushed by people who never once worried about turning off their heating. While China builds new coal plants every week and America drills to keep its lights on, we gut our own infrastructure and hand over our energy sovereignty to foreign markets. All to win applause from Twitter's eco-elite and chase green points that won't warm a single home. Reports are already emerging that the land around the shuttered refinery is being scouted for development. And who just bought a big slice of it? Keir Starmer. So ask yourself, is this about saving the planet or seizing power and land under the cloak of climate virtue? That MP, one of the rare few speaking plain truth, warned us this wasn't just about job losses, it was about national exposure. Britain used to lead. Now we grovel. We beg for oil, for gas, for foreign wind that doesn't always blow. We beg the public to keep believing this is normal. But it's not. It's betrayal. And not only by the Conservatives, Labour is just as guilty. When their own MP spoke out, what did they do? They didn't support him. They lined up, one after the other, to denounce him. Not because he lied, but because he told the truth. A truth that challenged their sacred narrative. A narrative they need to keep alive, no matter how many working-class towns it leaves in ruin. It's easy to destroy from a distance. Even easier when your new investment properties sit just outside the blast radius. Starmer doesn't just avoid the fallout, he profits from it. While families are pushed out, homes devalued, and communities fractured, he's buying in. It's a game, and the rules are rigged. Starmer's Labour doesn't care about jobs. It doesn't care about industry. It doesn't care about the men and women who built this country with their hands and kept it going through every crisis. It only cares about appealing to Guardian columnists in Islington, and now apparently, about scooping up land in once proud industrial towns left hollowed out by its own policies. This is how the elite plays it. Strip the working class of its livelihood, swoop in to grab the land, and rebrand it as a green investment. Meanwhile, the backlash comes in fast. Environmental groups rush to brand the dissenting MP as short-sighted. Opposition parties pounced, not to defend jobs, but to posture as guardians of the planet. Social media lit up with smug applause, celebrating the closure as if it was some great moral triumph. But who exactly are they celebrating against? Their own country. Their own people. Their own energy security. And while all of this unfolds, let's remember who gets hurt most. The refinery workers. The engineers. The technicians. The drivers. The cleaners. These aren't carbon stats. These are real people, people with families, people with mortgages, people with futures. But to Labour's modern elite, they're just inconvenient figures on a spreadsheet. Roadblocks in the way of converting a gritty industrial zone into a green playground for the rich. Here's the truth they're desperate to keep buried: Britain still needs its energy industry. We need the jobs. We need the independence. And more than anything, we need leaders who will risk telling hard truths instead of parroting popular lies. But instead, we get cowardice. We get MPs silenced for speaking out. We get political parties more interested in saving their image than saving their people. What happened this week wasn't just about a refinery. It was a stark symbol of how dangerously disconnected our politics has become. Labour should have defended that MP. They should have confronted the Tories. They should have stood up for millions of forgotten workers. But they didn't. They chose silence. They chose compliance. They chose betrayal. And make no mistake, it will cost them. Reform UK is climbing in the polls for a reason. Because the people are watching. And they're done being ignored.